we'll go ahead and get started with Ben.
Gunner, same thing I asked Doug, man. Opening in Arlington with that tournament against top competition for you. What's the preparation like? Does it change at all? And what's your excitement level about opening there?
Definitely excited, opening up in Arlington, facing top competition and, in a big league park like that. And I think we're going to have like 15,000 fans there. So, definitely looking forward to it. But in terms of preparation, I treat every start the same. And, I'm just going to go out there and prepare like any other game.
Nick?
You made that big jump between year one and year two. What kind of was your focus heading into year three this summer when you didn't have the benefit of a team and the cape and all of that, just working internally? What was your focus there?
Yeah, it was definitely different, missing the whole season, not facing any hitters, but it was definitely good with, new technology nowadays. And my big emphasis was working on bettering the breaking balls and specifically my curveball and changeup. Those are two pitches I really wanted to, improve on. And then, just fastball velocity and getting that ticked up again. So just working on moving better and stuff like that.
You said your velo's ticked up. Where's it at right now?
In bullpens, it's been anywhere from like 90 to 90, 95 right now. So.
Andre?
Hey Gunner, you've been able to be a good consistent strike thrower throughout your career. Like, what do you credit that to? That mentality that has allowed you to stay consistent throughout, any challenge you faced.
I think it all started when I was younger. I think just working with my dad all the time, and he always preached a solid mechanics, great arm action, and he would always catch my bullpens and everything. So, and he caught with no gear on. So, I mean, if you bounce one in there, you might hurt them. So, you gotta dot up. So,
Ben?
So much was made, Gunner, when you got here of spurning in Pittsburgh, coming to Ole Miss, and now you're in the position where I think you're a top 30 guy right now. Is this kind of what you came to school for as far as developmentally and getting to a place where you are right now as far as Major League Baseball?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've learned so much here and, improved so much under, Coach Bianco and the whole staff, and just learning so much, not only about pitching, but, also about life as well. And, getting that degree in school and, just learning how to be on your own and, grow and mature as a person.
Nick?
Going off that, do you pay attention at all to the preseason hype, either for the team with the high rankings or for you with draft rankings and All-America stuff?
No, I try to stay present, and whatever happens, down the road, that's down the road. I just try to stay present and, just be in the moment and, go out there and compete. Everything else at the end of the day will take care of itself.
Is it hard to avoid that? Do you have people sending you mock drafts if they see your name, sending you rankings and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. But, I think going through that process in high school and everything and going through it again, I just know what to expect and, I'm ready for it.
Ben?
What was that process like, and how did it help you prepare for what's going to be another process for you this year?
I think a lot of things. I think it was just, knowing what to expect. And, I think the first time I went around, there's a lot of, none of I didn't know what to expect at all. And in terms of, just how the whole process works, leading up to the draft and then also the draft as well. And just knowing all that information. And, but at the end of the day, going out there and, doing your job and competing with the guys, that's all you can do.